I think grinding harder is the only way to get ahead. Let me save you years and years of burnout. I almost lost some of the most important moments of my life because I believe this lie. And here's what I wish someone had told me. In the summer of 2024, I was grinding harder than I ever had before. I knew we had a baby on the way and I wanted to set us up for success financially. So I'd take so many Zoom calls in a day that by the time I came downstairs after my day was over to hang out with my wife, I was basically in a coma, staring into space, unable to focus, unable to actually be present with her. And now we had a baby on the way, and I knew deep down this is not how I want to show up, not only for my wife, but for my child. So something had to change. The problem was, and the problem that I see with a lot of people who grew up middle class and are trying to become entrepreneurs, my whole career had trained me to believe one thing: more money came from more clients, which also equaled more work, more calls, more sessions, more appointments. That was the only way that I knew how to get to where I wanted to go. But deep down, my subconscious brain was resisting it. My subconscious brain was already exhausted, and it knew, in a way that I wasn't fully ready to admit, that sacrificing my presence with my family was not worth it. So instead of growing faster like I thought I would, or like, my subconscious brain had told me I would, I stayed stuck in this exhausting loop of self sabotage, right? I'd try harder, which would make me more tired, more exhausted. Then I would get frustrated. I would beat myself up, which would lead to procrastination. And that would lead to this next cycle of, well, I need to work harder because I'm not working harder enough. And then round and around and around we go. Does that sound familiar to you? Right. So the shift came when I finally started to ask better questions. I didn't ask the question, how do I make more money? I asked the question, how do I make more money without more Zoom calls, without more client work, without more sacrifice? One other way you can even ask this question is, how can I make the same amount of money and work remarkably less? That single shift cracked everything open. So let me give you the actual tool for how I got there. And this is what I now teach my clients. It starts with setting clear, super clear parameters for your goals. So the first step, as everybody knows when it comes to SMART goals, be specific about what you want. We don't just want more money. We don't just want success. We don't just want XYZ. Exactly how much, by when, why does it matter to you? We need to get super specific on what we want and why so that the universe can go to work for us. The second, and this is the piece that nobody talks about and not enough people do when they're talking about grinding it out and working hard and all these things, you must decide what you're not willing to sacrifice. Are you not willing to sacrifice your family time? Are you not willing to sacrifice your mental health or your freedom? One of my coaches said to me, what rules of the game are you going to set as we were looking at 2025? He said, if you hit your money goals, if you smash your money goals, but your wife hands you divorce papers on December 31st, have you won the game? Of course not. If you smash your money goals, but you look in the mirror and you hate the person you see because you've just totally sacrificed your health, have you won the game? No. But once the brain knows the rules of the game, it can do what it does best. Your brain is a problem solving machine. We just don't give it very good problems to solve. And when you give it a great problem to solve, a difficult, intricate, creative problem, that's when your brain starts to go to work. You start finding different ways to succeed, ways that don't cost you everything. When you put the parameters and boundaries in place, your brain will work within them and get creative. You do not have to burn out to get to where you want to go. The only way through is not by working harder. You just have to start asking a better question. When you do this, you're going to realize that the life you're working so hard for isn't somewhere way off in the distance. It's right here. And it's only waiting for you to ask your brain a better question and to allow your brain to solve a better problem. So you don't have to burn out. But what you have to do is you have to clearly define the parameters for success. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click like, subscribe, and watch some more of my videos. Lots of valuable stuff here on the channel. We'll talk to you soon.